Ronnie I's Clifton Music was a Clifton, New Jersey institution for 40 years and known round the world. Ronnie Italiano was the man who brought a cappella to the forefront. He loved the group harmony sound. The man and the music attracted a Japanese company to film this a cappella feature back in 1993.
Good music, simple, beautiful, good music, the kind that touches your heart. Nothing like it. When you're feeling down and you're feeling sad, it brings you up. That's what good music does. The kind of good music that I could really relate to is a cappella music. 5 beautiful voices coming from the streets. The human voice, the most beautiful instrument of them all, really. Well, I guess we could go back to like 1953. The local DJs in the New York City area were playing a new form of music. They called it rock and roll. And every kid back in '53 emulated this music through a cappella on the street corners in this area. Think about it, it's 1993, 40 years later, and still we have the beautiful sound of a cappella. Love that girl. Oh, 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 gee. My, oh, gee. Well, oh, gee. Oh, I love that girl. Love that girl. Oh, 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 please. Listen to me. Hear my plea. Oh, I love that girl. Love that girl. Hold me, baby, squeeze me. Never let me go. I'm not taking chances because I love her so much. Yes, I love her. Yes, I need her. Oh, I love that girl. Love that girl. Love that girl. Hold me, baby, squeeze me. Never let me go. I'm not taking chances because I love her so much. Yes, I love her. Yes, I need her. Oh, I love that girl. Love that girl. Oh, 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 gee. My, oh, gee. Well, oh, gee. Oh, I love that girl. Love that girl. Oh, 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 please. Listen to me. Hear my plea. Oh, I love that girl. Love that girl. Why I love that girl. Love that blue velvet. Bluer than velvet was the night. Softer than satin was the light in her eyes. She wore blue velvet. Bluer than velvet were eyes. Warmer and tender side. Love was ours. Ours a love we held tightly, feeling the rapture glow, like a flame burning brightly. Oh, when she's gone, gone.
and warm her memory through the years. Arms of love we held tightly, feeling the rapture go like a flame burning bright
In Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn.
We're still in Brooklyn.
That's why we are Brooklyn Connection.
So we're going to try to talk to Brooklyn Connection, who are out in the parking lot. Brooklyn Connection, you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you,
Ronnie.
Ronnie.
Hear you, Ronnie.
Could you
We're
turn that
live
a little?
and well.
You guys want to sing something for us?
We're ready. We're ready.
Well, tumba, 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 do, do, hoo, wah, hoo, wah, hoo, wah, hoo, wah, hoo, wah, hoo, wah.
Why do fools fall in love?
Why do fools fall in love? Why do fools fall in love? Why do fools fall in love? Boom, 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 why do fools fall in love? Why do fools fall in love? Tell me why do fools fall in love? Wow, boom, 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 boom.
Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. I hate to leave you, but I really must say good night, sweetheart. Good night. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and your mother doesn't like it if we stay here too long. Come on and kiss me, baby. I don't mean maybe, 'cause I hate to go. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. I hate to leave you, but I really must say good night, sweetheart. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Good night. Good night.
Wow, look at the time. Looks like we have to leave. Where do those 2 hours go? Wow, I had just a great time tonight, and I hope you guys did too. We'll be back next week, though, for 2 more big hours of rhythm and blues, vocal group harmony music. This is Ronnie I saying to each and every one of you, I love you very much, and thank you, and good night now.
Ronnie I was the president and founder of the United in Group Harmony Association, better known to us as UGHA. They started in December 1976 at the VFW in East Rutherford, New Jersey. That show featured Remaining Few, the Bon Airs, about 100 people in attendance, of which Ronnie said 50 were card-carrying members. At its peak, UGHA had over 2,000 members, and I proudly was one of them. No one did more to keep our sound alive than Ronnie I. He was a beverage company delivery man who became a group harmony icon because of his love of the music. He hated the term doo-wop. Ronnie produced hundreds of monthly shows, mainly at Schuetzen Park in North Bergen, New Jersey. Ronnie was solely responsible for bringing back many of the 50s groups, most who had thought that their doo-wop singing days were long over. Many of his legendary shows are available to watch on the UGHA Facebook page. Ronnie I opened Clifton Records in 1972 and produced hundreds of 45s, CDs, and albums, mostly by the groups that he brought back from obscurity. He hosted a group harmony radio show for 23 years, and he got into a public feud when WCBS dropped its oldie format. He accused the station of abandoning the city's musical roots. Ronnie I loved the music. He also had his own group, the Cliftoneers, who did a lot of backup work for the people that he recorded, as well as recording several CDs themselves with various lineups. Ronnie was working on the album Fare Thee Well when he passed away on March 4th, 2008. He was 67 years old. The Cliftonaires regrouped a few years later to finish the album in his honor. Here's a short feature on Ronnie that was done by Joe Soucher of Pacific Films. He was hired by WNYC back in 1987 to do this profile. The station carried Ronnie's radio show at the time.
Run, run, run. Sweeter than sugar. From candy to this is my love. This is my love.
We are into the authentic music. A lot of people through the years, this music has been put up as a parody. I mean, Shana Na. I'm not taking away from their talent, but that's really not the 50s. The 50s in the music is not slicking your hair back and putting your collar up and going wah, wah, wah. It is an art form. It definitely is an art form, and we bring out that art form at UGHA.
This is our life, right? Only the brunch. You get the next one. We remember.
The old music always stays in. You bring back the rock and roll with the doo-woppers. With the, you may have disco. It'll come in, it'll come out. 1 week it'll be there, 1 week it won't. Whereas oldies from 50s, it's still here in the 80s.
I started buying these records when I was 12 years old, back in 1956, 1957. And the music relaxes me. I can get a high off the music. If I hear the right combinations of harmonies and basses and leads, it makes me feel so happy, and I love it. And if I never go to another show again, as long as I have all my records and tapes in my house, I'll always be satisfied.
Speedio, that's the name. Call me Speedio, that's the name. Making love, love, love is my game. Speedio, well, that's my...
People come down because they want to keep this music alive. They're here to enjoy big name groups like the Paragons, or their local a cappella group who maybe work in a factory or work in a drugstore, and once a month they're able to come out here and practice all month and display their talents on a stage set up for people who really enjoy it.
Hi, folks. Happy birthday, UGHA.
He has spent 24 hours a day for the past 10 years without a profit motive to put this together for you people. He is specifically and individually responsible for the preservation of the music that we all love. And without further ado, let me present this beautiful plaque to Ronnie. And it reads, presented to Ronnie I, Ronnie Italiano, December 6, 1986, founder, leader, and driving force of UGHA. On this, the commemoration of 100 shows and 10 continuous years of preserving and exposing vocal group harmony music of the 50s. And this is signed from the membership of UGHA. Ronnie?
I grew up in the 50s. I was into black music in the 50s. I grew up in a middle-class white area. I got married at a very young age, 3 children. And I was driving a truck for a living. In 1972, January of 1972, I took a big gamble in life and I bought Clifton Music. It was called Clifton Music Center at the time. And I slowly turned it into the world's #1 doo-wop shop.
WNWA 105.9. Ronnie I.
start us off, here's Dante and the Dell Knights on the Baby Flow record label, something recorded in 1961 but not released until about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Dante and the Dell Knights and Dee Dee.
There are two ways to look at this with groups. Some groups think they're going to be stars. Whether they're 40 years old, they think that they're actually going to record and the music's going to come back, which the music's never going to come back. I mean, the music is there, and it becomes more popular at times. And there are other people who look at it realistically, that it's a hobby. They get together, they enjoy the company of the other members of the group. They may socialize with the wives or husbands, such as the case.
Arthur, remember Louis Lyman?
I fell in love with you, heart and soul, the way a fool would do madly, because you held me tight and stole a kiss in the night. But this is the way we record it.
I'm very happy, and I'm very confident in 1987, and I think the music is here to stay. We'll call it doo-wops, we'll call it oldies, we'll call it group harmony, whatever you choose. But I think the American art form of music with a lead singer, a first tenor, a second tenor, a baritone, and a bass, and a blend of harmony, I think is here to stay.
Just you wait and see, just you wait and see. Tomorrow, just you wait and see, just you wait and see. I said tomorrow, just you wait and see, just you wait and see. Oh, tomorrow, just you wait and see.
This guy really put it together. Didn't care about anything except he didn't like injustice. If you all remember, there were all the groups that were like the Cadillacs, Harpoons, all the groups that were called the race groups. He didn't care. He said, these are the guys that do it. And he was right. So anyway, this goes out to you, Ronnie.
I've been going to Let East now for about 11 years. And the first year that I went was the first year without Ronnie producing the music. Every year, the folks who set up Rhode Island Island, Manny, Tom, KJ, and others, have held a Sunday afternoon tribute to the man who provided them with so much enjoyment over the years. Tony Otchin, Tony O, handled the music at Rhode Island Island while providing the memories of the man he worked with at Clifton Records. He produced his radio shows. He also chauffeured the groups that Ronnie would bring in from all around the country. And many of those groups would perform at Rhode Island Island on Sunday afternoon if they were performing at Let East. Over the years, that gathering grew. In 2013, Ronnie's widow, Sandy, addressed the crowd, and we were all decked out in Ronnie I t-shirts that Karen O'Doherty would make up every year. The respect and love for Ronnie Italiano was in full demonstration every Sunday afternoon at Rhode Island Island at Let East.
Search and search for peace of mind. I'm glad that at last my empty days have passed. How I worship at its shrine. It is heaven to know just what happiness means. It is found at the door. In the chapel of dreams, chapel of dreams, chapel of dreams, chapel of
Ronnie I's goal was to preserve our beloved music. With the proliferation of internet doo-wop radio stations, or group harmony, as Ronnie would prefer, our music is as strong as ever around the world. This newsletter, Doo Wop Ramblings, is read in 43 countries, and my radio show on Doo Wop Radio was heard in over 100 countries. Job well done, Ronnie I. Rest in peace.